what does my hair look like? Do I sound good? Oh my God, I'm overthinking this whole thing.
I think that's half the reason I kind of want to do one-to-one podcasts is that people are terrified of being in front of the camera. People are terrified of being recorded. People hate listening back to themselves. This is all three things in one go.
And I don't like it either.
No, you're the worst for it. Bearing in mind, like, you put people in front of the camera. Whenever you have to go in front of the camera, you hate it.
Well, again, maybe this works because, like, you can be like, no, it's okay. You just talk clearly into the mic, and then you can do the same for me.
Yeah.
And then that works. Like, we've put each other at ease,
Yes.
and then we haven't realised that we're also still on mic.
Well, this is what we do on shoots anyway, is you literally, like, for testimonials, FAQs, like interview stuff, is I think people don't realise that they're not talking to a camera.
Yeah.
It's like, I will sit literally with the camera over my shoulder and you're there, like, your job is basically, are they in shot? Do they sound good? Like, is anything weird going on? And then my job is, I'm just going to chat to someone. 10 times out of 10, I'm genuinely interested in what they're talking about anyway. So my job is to sit and listen.
Yeah.
And hope that in doing that, it helps the person forget that they are in front of a camera.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps because if you've ever tried to talk like directly down the lens of a camera, it's so weird because you don't get any sort of like feedback of like, oh, that's great, yeah, fantastic, I love what you're saying. It's just like it's talking to a wall.
Yeah,
you're not getting anything out of it. So,
and I think we've noticed that like there's been shoots where like we can't always have all of us on a shoot, and most of it is because of like budget reasons. Like if the client doesn't have the budget for say like a crew of 3, we'll do a crew of 2, and you don't necessarily have that extra person sat there to be an interviewer. Like you're doing it whilst trying to also, you know, camera monitor and things like that, and the footage from that always ends up being not quite as good as
because I'd usually do like, if I was asking the questions, I'd probably be like headphones doing sound, but obviously in the back of my mind is like, I'm not really on the answer. I'm more like, is it peaking? Is it a bit quiet?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tweak that a little bit. And they're like, oh, they stopped talking. Next question.
Yeah, because you can't do everything.
No.
Like, it's impossible. You can't do sound and visual and also be that person's like person who is there just to try and like get their attention. It's impossible. You can't do it.
Yeah, well, that's why films have like such big crews, isn't it? It's because like they literally like micro everything out into like each individual thing to the point of like one guy's job is literally to like run cable. It's like, is that connected? No, you did a terrible job.
Your job is to make tea. Make tea, keep the actors happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably more than one of them on most shoots. Like it's just people running about being like, oh, I know how to make the perfect cup of tea, and that's what they're good at.
Hey, never underestimate the skill to make a perfect cup of tea.
Yeah, I can't do it.
No, I don't know how. Like, we have a coffee machine, which you put coffee in, it puts coffee out. I don't know how you don't know how to make a good cup of coffee.
Well, it's technology. It's just not good enough, is it? Like, I have decided that I'm a perfect like tester because I will find the way to break something. Yeah. Because it's just the way I work. Like even my name breaks things. Like in school, right? In school, I broke the logins because I was basically using, this is a terrible idea by the way, don't ever use your name as a password, but I was using my name, my full name as a password, and that was apparently too many characters for the password. And I was like, but it's just my name. And they're like, well, you've broken it. I'm sorry. I've made a reset and you can't use it. I was like, oh, great. Okay, fantastic. So even my name breaks things.
That's hilarious. You are that person that like, you are the tinkerer.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you so good on shoots. If we're like the skylight that you had, for example, like generally we go into buildings, we will find a way to turn off every single light in the building.
Oh yeah.
Like we don't care if it's like motion detected. We will put tape over motion detectors because we don't want skylights. We want our lights. Our lights are better. We don't want horrible green.
Yeah.
Gross lights. But then were you saying like this is before my time? Like you were in a shoot where it was like a really tall skylight.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so there was one, the roof, it was like a double story sort of like barn conversion. They had these skylights. So we had a conversation about getting up on the roof and covering it from the outside, but the venue weren't too pleased. They weren't too sort of like on board with that idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, fine. But we had a few spare stands, so we strapped 2 stands together, and then a bit of super lightweight foam about the size of the window, and just gently raised it up to the ceiling and just like pressed it against it, and that was it. That's all it needed. And because it was the tiniest bit of sunlight that was just, and it was throughout the course of the day, it just like made its way across the set and was just starting to like join the people sat down as well. And it's like, that wasn't there earlier, and we can remove it to a point, but when it gets onto somebody's hands and they're moving their hands or they're talking, that's going to get a problem. So it's just, you just see a light and you see your foam and a few stands and all the duct tape.
But this is why, like, because we've established like code names for ourselves. Like, Jack is the editing wizard, I'm the client whisperer. The problem solver was the only one that really was like, that is Josh. Like, in a nutshell, you've got a problem on a shoot. You're like, it's fine. I've got some, LX tape and a bit of foam. Sorted.
I think I've definitely got to a point now where I've realised, like earlier, how quickly I can mobilise a drill with the correct drill bit.
Oh my God.
And like, it's like, right, if something needs repairing, it's like I'm on call for like DIY tasks. I can like, about 30 seconds, I'm good to go.
Well, it's like this room, like I was saying to Harvey when we saw him earlier, these like lights, these pole lights, they arrived, I would have sent them back. Like, I would not have known what to do. Like, me and my husband have decided we are pay people to do things for us kind of people. We're not DIY people. That's why we have you as our friend. Not the only reason. It's just a benefit.
I'll take it. It's fine. If anyone wants to be friends with me just for DIY, that's fine.
I mean, it helps. But like, these poles arrived with literally 3 wires sticking out at the end. And I looked at them going, that's not a light. That's a problem. You turned around and went, it's fine. I'll just solder it. That's not a normal sentence. People don't just go, it's fine. I've got a soldering gun. Just, outside, let me just solder it and it'll be fine. And then they're great. They look amazing. But that's not normal. And I need you to know that.
It's just, I don't know. Just nothing seems that challenging. I don't really see what the big deal is. I'm just like, I don't even know where or why I've learned all of these random skills.
Have you not met your dad?
Well, okay, so he does a lot of things, but I wouldn't say like I never sort of like followed him around staring at everything he did. I'm just like, occasionally you're just like, oh, I know that he did that once. I know he soldered something. And then I was like, oh, how do you do that?
How hard can it be?
Yeah. And then you give it a go. And then the first time you do it, you're like, the solders you do are absolute trash.
Oh, I know. Like, the only time I've ever tried soldering anything, terrible. Terrible. That kid in DT that couldn't cut like a straight line? That was me. I literally gave up.
To be fair, I'm not a details person. I'm like a mass build repair person.
5 foot rule.
Yeah.
Looks good from 5 foot away.
That's a Bert phrase, that is.
Yeah. Oh, I love a Bert. Looks good from 5 foot away. Yeah. Solid.
I think it was 3 foot though. I think Bert might be a little bit better than me actually.
Yeah. He's got an extra couple of foot.
I'll do 5 foot. That's okay.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, I'm a mass builder. I'm like, I don't have time. I'm not one of these people to sit there and be like, oh, the finish on that, it's like, oh, it's a little bit rough. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I've built a room. I don't care about the finish. Like, that's my limit.
Well, that's what like people don't realize is that, so this room, like, this didn't exist. We were looking at the studio thinking, it's a massive space. We never use like more than half of it. Like, why do we just have a big empty white void that we don't use? When we're all 3 of us are crammed into a tiny little office. It's cozy. It's lovely. We've refitted it ourselves. It's great. But we need like meeting room space. So you built some walls and now we have a room. That doesn't make sense to most people. Like, most people will be like, okay, we're got to get people in, like measure it, make sure it works. Like, literally I came in the next day and you were like, well, I've made a wall. So bon appetit. Like,
yeah, I think the room was a bit of like a rebellious side of me. So what I often do is if people say you can't do that, or that, oh my God, that'd be crazy, or it's going to cost you so much money, I'm
Yeah.
like, let me see. Let
Yeah.
me see. And I pitched this idea of the temporary room that can be removed just in case we want the studio in its full potential.
Yeah. If we want to get a car in here, we have to take the roof down.
Yeah, exactly. But then we also wanted to play about with having the extra room for such things.
Yeah.
And so I spoke to a few people, and most people were like, that's ridiculous. You can't make a room that's not like a solid built-in room that can never be demolished again. And I was like, okay, I accept your challenge.
Fair.
I will prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't start building it straight away. I think
It took a few months.
it took probably long. I think the idea was in my head for quite a long time.
We started making it it started out as set pieces for the board game job that we did last year. When was
Yeah.
that? That was in the summer of last year,
I think it might be longer.
2024.
Might be longer.
So a
Longer
year
ago.
longer. So it's probably been about a year and a half since, like, because these panels were constructed as like a
Yeah,
castle
that's right.
dungeon,
Yeah, that's right.
and then suddenly became a podcast studio.
Yeah, because I sort of knew. I guess I figured out at that point of how it was going to come together. And obviously from the set of that, I was like, right, well, we need some panels for that anyway. So I might as well start building the panels that'll build this room for that set.
Oh God.
And then, yeah, it just, there's a few things that you have to figure out at the time. And, you know, occasionally you got to like nearly kill yourself. Like, or
Oh
something.
yeah. No, or nearly kill your employees.
Yeah, I don't usually try and do that, and yeah,
No.
it's a misjudgment.
Jack is fine, I promise, even though he's not here. He is alive. We haven't killed him off. He's busy.
Yeah, but yeah, you just, you know, it's you're just you're creating things. It's the same, you know, when you're making video. It's like you're figuring it out. You're like, people are like, oh, I don't know how we're gonna do that shot. No, that seems a bit impossible. I'm like, good. Because that means like loads of people haven't done it before, so we can do it better.
Well, that's what you always say. It's like when we get new services, it's a trial and error. Like the reason we have time lapse is because we've got so many clients who are in like the construction industry or the haulage industry, and their things take a long time. So we got asked, can you do time lapse cameras? You looked at the ones that are on the shelf and went, they're not good enough. Let's build our own.
Yeah.
And obviously it's evolved since then, and we now have better cameras that, you know, are easier to replicate and to have more of. But every single service we have has started from you being like, let's just try it.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, and I think like most, well, maybe, but I feel like a lot of business owners, they start with you say yes to everything because you're like, oh, what if I never get another potential job ever again? I need to make some money. So you say yes to everything, and then you refine it, and then you start to find things that you tend to do more of. And you get picky and you niche things out, but occasionally we'll get like a bizarre ask, and it's sort of it gets my mind going. I'm like, actually, I like the challenge of figuring this out.
Yeah.
I always loved the car rig that we built, which
that was sick.
it's just down to like a lot of if I mean, say a lot of companies probably use vans, and you could easily rig out a van so you could sort of hang out the side door with the gimbal. You get a smooth shot. But we were going to potentially be doing a lot of filming on the move. And I was just thinking for sort of safety side of things.
Don't hang your editor out of a car. He's
Yeah.
very needed.
You can hang someone out the car window maybe the odd time, but when you're doing it a lot, and we were potentially going to be doing this on fast roads, going over to like Wales, so it's going to be like constant.
Yeah.
And I just thought, nah, this is not the way to do it. And I looked around, and I basically looked at what the drone gimbals the original ones, not necessarily now, but the old like shock absorbers on those.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, you just need a big one of those, really. So I had a little think on that and figured out the best thing to do would be use an old bike rack that you put on the back of a car, and then basically build a plate and like hang the whole thing on like bungees. And it
looked incredible. It
looked
insane.
The first, like, we tested it up and down the road. And, like, the first time, it was super like jelly. It was like way too soft. So you'd like drive down the road and the camera, there wasn't any like shock, but it was like you were sort of swimming.
Oh my God.
It was a strange feeling. So but you tweak it then. You tweak it a few times and you change it up, you figure out where the movement is.
Yeah.
And then take it up the road a few more times and suddenly this thing's looking quite smooth. And yeah, there's the odd moment where it's a bit funny. But then I suddenly realised that the road we've been testing on, this is Flyford Road, in case the council are listening.
Fix the roads, please.
The roads here are
terrible.
They're not. It's not potholes. It's like somebody warped the ground.
Yeah.
So I was testing it on this road, and I was like, well, no wonder this sort of looks a little bit jelly anyway, even in its final state, because the road is like this. So we took it out to some other roads, and I was like, oh my God, this is smooth. This is really good. We've made something pretty epic here.
Built something.
And then I compared it to, because I was like, right, okay, what are sort of like industry leaders doing? And I looked at, it was like early sort of Grand Tour times.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I mean, they're probably using like old school techniques, but everyone's mentality was like tripod in the back of a Land Rover because Land Rovers are super smooth. But you did a comparison between what we'd built and what the footage was on the early episodes of Grand Tour, and you're like, oh my God, what we've created is so much better.
Oh yeah, it's so stupidly smooth. And do you know what's really, really weird and is going to make you feel and make me feel like time? You know, I've got a weird thing with time. I don't like thinking about time and the amount of time has passed. So that shoot that you're on about, that you were prepping for, is the first job I ever worked on for you before I worked here. So I used to do, because I remember speaking to you, because we've been friends for like, what, 10 years?
Yeah.
Like, because I met James, my husband, 10 years ago. Yeah. Literally 2 days ago.
Okay, wow.
Weird, right? So I would have met you probably like 6 months after that or whatever. So, yeah, we've known each other like 10 years. So then probably, 6 years ago? I was having a bit of a crisis of like, what am I doing with my life? I've ended up in marketing. Oh, I know. I was like, I've ended up in marketing. I don't really know what I'm doing here. It's marketing for corporate, which like I'm being handed £200,000 a month to spend on like ads in the Daily Mail and just playing with it like it's Monopoly money. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. And I knew that I liked working with creative people, and like the creative department that we had in work, like it was really fun to work with them, but there was like a barrier. Like you weren't allowed to cross that barrier between like corporate money and like organizing and fun creatives. I literally used to sit next to the social media guy, shout out TN, great guy, and I would sit there and I'd be like, have you started this TikTok yet? And he was like, oh no, I need to get onto that. I was like, okay, you're going to give yourself 2 hours, you're going to go make that TikTok, and you're going to come back. Then we'll have a little tea break, and then you're going to start the edit. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, oh, okay, project management. maybe this is where my talent lies, is working with creatives, having the marketing knowledge to kind of understand the marketing side of things, but also helping you guys. So I said to you, I was like, I have no experience project management. I was looking at like courses you can do on like producing. Apparently there's some out there. Like,
yeah,
there's no need. Like, you just need industry experience. So I said to you, I was like, can I help? I was like, have you got any paperwork that you need to be done? I know you're running a business.
All of it.
I was like, I know you're running a business on your own, and like,
what's paper?
Honestly, I remember like, I don't even know if I come to the office at this point. I think it was.
I think
was
you
working
did occasionally.
from home.
Yeah.
I remember the first day I was working from home, because I technically think I was still working for my old job at the time, but we don't talk about that. I was getting through all my work so quickly, and they weren't giving me any more to do. I was just bored, like straight up bored. And I remember talking to you and you being like, okay, I've got this shoot coming up. I think it was like next week or the week after, and you needed location scouting for locations to set the drone off from. So my job was, right, I have this area of Wales. Let me call round like cafes, vets, got a golf club, I think was one of them, or something like that, and just be like, hi, we're looking to do this. Like, can I like get your permission for this? I'll send you over an email, fill out this form. And we did that, and that was the first job I ever officially worked on. We counted as freelance, but the payment was you did some DIY on my house for me.
Yeah, which I still owe some level of.
I know. I owed a library. No, you helped cat-proof the kitchen for me. So we got the kitten.
Yeah. I feel like there's more owed.
Well, you employed me in the end, so I'll take that as like payment completed.
We'll see. In the back of my mind, I still owe you something.
Still owe me a library. It's fine. We'll get there. I'll get my library eventually. I'll have moved house and
you can have a new library.
Do a new library.
Play the library card.
Oh my god, yeah. We'll just keep it as like a coupon that I can like hand in at some point. But yeah, it's like it really is an industry that like you don't know how to get into it.
Yeah.
Even from like a project management, like producing kind of side, there's no one sits you down and they're like, this is a career path you can take when you're in school. No one looks at you and goes, you're creative, but you're not the creative.
Yeah.
You're an organizer, but you live in a like you understand creative. No one thinks of that as being a thing when you're 16 or even 18.
No, I mean, to be honest, I like who's gone to school and be like, I'm gonna be a project manager. That's really my dream.
If someone had told me that absolutely would have been me. I was that kid that was like, I like spreadsheets. Literally, do you remember like the little school diaries you used to have? Your planners, and you used to have something signed every week by your parents. Yeah. Mine was fully color coded. I made my own little like timetable of my lessons, which was color coded and used to live in my blazer pocket. Like I was that kid that was like organized to a T, almost to a fault. And it now makes so much sense. Because it's like, this is just my life, is organizing people. Less so with spreadsheets now. We've evolved. We have Monday. I don't need to use my spreadsheets. Yes. But like, yeah, you just find something that clicks. But I suppose for you, it's always been like video photography.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously my dad was a photographer all of his life, so I grew up in studios being like, wow, this is really cool. Look at everything that goes on here. But then whenever I'd sort of talk to my dad about it, we'd sort of go, oh, well, phones, everyone's got to have a camera on their phone and they're getting pretty good, and everyone wants to be a photographer these days. So it was like, okay, yeah, it does seem like a bit of a dangerous industry to like base my life around. Yeah. So I thought, I'll go and study computing at uni. And then went,
now, if anything, AI is like more of a threat to computing nowadays than it is to like.
Yeah. Although it's my secret weapon, because I can suddenly start to do things that I know in theory how to do, like fair bits of like automation. Like I understand how to make them work, but I would never be able to write the code for it. No. Whereas now with AI, it's like, how do I create an automation that does this with this and this? Yeah. And generally you can get somewhere pretty close. Yeah. As long as you understand what you're seeing. So it has been useful. It's definitely been useful. I probably try and automate a little bit too much.
Yes, you do. 100%. I'll be like, okay, this is the tiniest little job that I need to do once a month. Probably takes me 5-10 minutes. And you're like, but I could automate that. And I'm like, yes, but you're
automate that.
Yeah, but you're going to spend 3 to 5 business days working how to automate it. We need to look at this like the coffee machine equation, where it's like, in how much time do we get back the time that it would have taken me just to do it manually in the first place?
Very true, very true. But if you can press a button and it all does it. Oh, consistency.
That is true. You do then take out human error, but then you introduce computer error and software updates.
Yeah, very true.
And
you can't win.
You can't. You really can't. But yeah.
I can't even remember the point I was trying to make now.
Oh, you're saying about going to do computing at uni.
Oh yeah, so after computing, I tried to get a few different jobs in computing. I got pretty close. I've had two.
I thought you just sacked it off immediately because you barely went to uni as it was.
Well, yeah, so basically I did 2 interviews. So I've had 2 job interviews in my life. That's it.
That's hilarious.
One was only one was for a computing job.
Yeah.
Which I got down to the last 2, and they only picked the other guy because he was more experienced and they needed somebody who they could just throw straight in the deep end. So I was like, that's fair enough. The other one was a photography job, and they offered me. I've actually came across the company the other day, and they're still going.
How's their photography?
Well, it's basic, and the reason is it's very simple. It's school portrait photography.
Oh,
so they literally they hire people on like a sort of a semi freelance basis, and they just basically throw them into schools across the summer. Get all these photos done.
I could not think of anything worse.
I mean, it sounded pretty horrible, but I was like, oh, okay, well, it sort of fits my skill set.
Yeah, true. It's the same setup every time.
Yeah, so I was like, it's money. But then it was really bizarre because they were sat in this interview and they were like, yeah, so this is what you'd be doing with the job and going through it all. And they were like, oh yeah, you get a company car as well. This is all relevant.
Sick.
I'm like, okay. I was like, I've already got a car, but hey, like. Well, maybe I could sell my car. I don't know. I was like, okay, there's potential there. And they were like, there's one little problem. I was like, okay, I'm listening. And they were like, yeah, so we're not going to pay you very much. I was like, oh, that's a big problem because that's sort of the reason I need the job.
Yeah, like you can't say in an interview, yeah, the pay's a bit crap.
But they did, and it was because it was so sort of like. It was so like haphazard when you'd be there anyway.
Yeah.
It like they weren't going to be paying me very much. And I basically went away and I was like, let me go think on it. Maybe I could make something work.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it and I was like, well, during uni, I'd been doing a lot of like freelance video photography jobs.
Yeah, because you did like student films as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Just because I enjoyed it, and I was getting a little bit of money here and there, and I looked at what I was making on my random little freelancey side job and this other job, and I was like, oh, that's basically the same. I was like, well, there's no point in taking this job. I might as well just keep putting more effort into my freelance work, and then eventually got too busy with that. And then you're hiring, then you're making a business, and here we go.
That is crazy. Because, like, I think there's a lot on, especially on, like, LinkedIn. And, like, Charlie was chatting about it on the Sinclair Day podcast the other day, about people, like, pushing this whole, like, you should be an entrepreneur by the age of, like, 22, and you should be making however much money. I have never, bearing in mind, you own your own company, you employ 2 people, like it is plus subcontractors, like you have an empire as it is.
I don't call it the empire. I have to change the lights to red.
Do it. Lady in the box. But I've never heard you describe yourself as an entrepreneur, and I don't know if you would.
No, I don't know if I don't. To be honest, I don't really think about the naming of things. I've never been one to put like names and people into boxes and all that sort of rubbish. I'm just like, creative. We're just doing stuff. We're doing stuff. We're hopefully going to get paid for it because we'd like to think we're doing a good job, and we're trying to do a very good job. So let's just keep doing more of that.
I remember you saying something like really early days of me working here that like has stuck, and I say to people a lot of the time when they ask like what we're like on set, and I'm like, put it this way, you, in your mind, if you never had to charge for a single thing, that would be ideal. Ideally, we would just do the jobs that we do and never charge any money for them, just because we want to make cool stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
That is the end of it. Like, if we didn't have to pay bills and didn't have to pay salaries, like, we just wouldn't charge any money.
Yeah, exactly. Because I just find it so like rewarding when you can go in somewhere, and it's even like the biggest challenges where it's like somewhere that isn't particularly great looking on camera, and you've then got that challenge of like, how can we light this? What can we move about? Where can we shoot to make this look good?
Yeah.
And then that's all problem solving again, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
like back into the world of like, right, how do we fix this impossible problem that everyone's going to be like, oh, you can't possibly use this room, it's too terrible. And I'm like, I
Yes,
accept
we
your
can.
challenge.
Yeah, like a lot of the offices that we work in do just end up being that like blank white space, and we're like, we will bring our own trees.
Yeah. Yeah, these
Like,
guys move. These move.
These guys are coming with us. Like, we are taking some potted plants, we're taking some trees. We're going to make your office look lush.
Yeah, IKEA's done really well out of us.
Oh, love IKEA. Love an IKEA trip. But yeah, I think that kind of sums up like why you do what you do.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely brings us to where we are now and why we're trying to do. It's like, well, I was saying to someone the other day, you sort of got a choice when you make a business. You either go cheap and cheerful, or you go high end as best as you can possibly do.
Yeah.
And I just can't do cheap and cheerful. It's
No.
just like, it just goes against everything I've ever learned. So I'm always like, we'll just do the absolute best we possibly can.
Yeah.
Sometimes to our own detriment, but hey.
Oh, 100%. There's definitely been jobs that we've worked on, and the board game one, for example, like we all got so invested in that we were like, we've definitely gone over budget just in our time, but we just want it to look as perfect. It even got to the point where Jack was halfway through editing it.
Yeah.
We still had everything set up in the studio, and he came out and he was like, we need another like half day shooting just to get these few shots that are really going to bring it from like a good video to like, this is a very, very cool video.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, then we've done our job right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I'd like to think that's in our core, isn't it? Like that is surely like a good reason. And that's why I feel like we have great clients, because we're like, we all want the best for everyone. So it's all like, yeah, we'd be horrified if we let somebody down.
Oh my God.
It's just like, that's just not.
I don't think I'd sleep. I don't think like if we ever put something out to a client that we were like, it's okay, like it's doable. Oh my, I would not be able to sleep that night.
Yeah.
Like
that is probably the only time I get stressed, is if we get an email off somebody and it's like, oh, like you guys have missed the ball on something, and
oh God, it would break my heart.
Me, that is like the, oh my God, we must do something. We need to make this right.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I absolutely hate that. That's like, for me, it's the equivalent of like your best friend ringing you up and being like, okay, I'm not happy with you.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, it feels the same way.
It's like an element of people pleasing, but in a business sense, that like it's our responsibility.
Yeah.
It's not people pleasing and like, oh, we'll do anything for you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you have trusted us with the image of your business.
Yeah.
That's like a huge thing. Like for us to trust other people with that as well.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Harvey for our rebrand, like that was a massive amount of trust to him, and he absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
And we could not be happier. But it is scary handing over the image of your business and going, there you go. Like you are now in charge of what we look like to other people. So to us, that's really important. And we don't take it lightly. So it's an element of people pleasing, of you've trusted us with it. That's our responsibility. Let's go make something awesome.